I mean, it was in Swedish, but I got the gist. Evening all, welcome to KWADeRATIC, and it's likely to be highly erratic tonight, wouldn't you agree, Mr. Winterblue? It was called The Plumber Comes, of course. Deary me, the old ones are the best. The old ones are the best. I may have stolen that from someone. Evening chat. Chat's out there already. Early crew. We are developing an early crew. Have you noticed this? I quite like that. That's quite cool. Early crew in that. Well, I was building towards early crew in the house. What have I got? How's Cameron even there? What's hold on, I'm going to have to make him go away. There you go. Sorry, let the cat out of the bag a bit early on that one.
And no one can hear me.
No one can hear you.
No, look at the chat.
People are saying.
Try talking.
People are saying
talking
they can't hear me. I'm trying to talk now. Sometimes words come out.
Oh, why do we always start?
Can you hear me
Why do
now?
we always start with audio problems? Yes, they can hear you now.
Because it's KWADeRATIC and a YouTube show, so that's what happens.
That one. I didn't have that one up, you see, because if you go away and then you come back, and I had it in the wrong place.
So what you're saying is you hadn't turned me up.
Basically.
Okay. So this is all Serb's fault. That's terrible. Hello, chat.
Yes.
So welcome to Failsafe Clown, our special guest Cameron, who we've let out of the bag. Daryl Bleach, RC Maniac. Yeah, I think that's all of the early crew. Hello, early crew.
Early crew is good. They were there before the show even started. I really like that.
Yeah.
Early crew for the win. They needed a special badge or something.
Yeah.
Badges. There are badges. There may be badges. There may be.
Are they badges with badgers?
Well, no, we're gonna do. We're gonna rip off that channel that Adam Savage does on YouTube, where they have demerit badges. We're gonna do quad versions of demerit badges.
Very sweet.
Yes, they're in the pipeline. And all proceeds will go to replacing the race equipment that everybody's smashing up. So we need to talk about this. Why is everybody smashing up the race equipment? We've only done 3.
Because no one can remember how to fly after being in lockdown for so long.
Evidently, huge holes in all of the flags. You're sort of right justified at the moment, which is a bit weird. Could you throw a couple of carriage returns in? There you go. Job done.
Moving stuff around for the win. Yeah, people like racing is hard on kit though, so I kind of get that.
But it's good fun.
The worst thing, the most I ever break is props. Of course, that means next time I go flying, I'm going to burn my quad to a crisp.
You'll break an arm now.
And then I'm going to go crying to our special guest and go, "Help me, Obi Cam Kenobi, you're my only hope."
And he'll say, "We've got none left."
And he'll say, "I haven't got any of that. No, we haven't got any of that either. We're still waiting for that."
Well, everybody's struggling. Everybody in the whole world is struggling, and we shall have to chat to him about why everybody in the world is struggling. Yes, we've let the cat out of the bag somewhat with my ineptitude. That was a hangover from After Dark, wasn't it?
It was a hangover from After Dark, and if you didn't see After Dark, sucks to be you.
It's gone. It's gone. Never to be seen again.
It's brilliant. My girlfriend joined us. Aggie joined us. My FPV wife. It's her date night tonight, so she doesn't join us on Tuesday nights, which is a real pity.
But surely watching KWADeRATIC is the perfect thing to do on a date. You know.
So I know my girlfriend's watching this. So Lavender, if you think this would be a perfect thing to watch on a date, just drop me a text or put something in the chat, because
it is the perfect thing to do on a date. Failsafe says, "Love the new website design for Unmanned Tech. A lot cleaner. I'm slightly worried because I haven't seen a difference." Is it change? When did it change?
I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe there's someone we should actually ask.
Perhaps if only there was somebody we could ask. Mr. Cameron Farr, you've gone dark. Turn your lights on, man.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
Ta-da!
That's as best as I can do.
Hiding in the corner. Oh, I give in.
Why am I
there he
hiding
is.
in the corner?
That is Skype just being Skype, basically. Marvellous. So we can see you, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Cameron Farr, who, if you don't know, tends to be the face of Unmanned Tech, because Alex, the boss, hides because he's shy. And Cameron gets to do all the work and needs a pay rise, Alex. Cameron, tell Alex
give the man a pay rise. And give him some staff.
We're working on it. We're actually hiring at the moment. We've got some interviewees happening soon, which is quite cool.
Awesome. I want to interview for it, but it's too far away and not enough money.
Yeah. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Just give everyone infinite money and be done with it. You can have what you want.
Awesome. Well, you need to sell more stuff.
But that leads us to something that's really, really annoying, though. All the stuff that we want is out of stock. Why is it out of stock, Cameron?
So, a combination of things. One, everyone just keeps buying it.
That's good.
Which is fantastic. Please do keep buying it. But the main thing at the moment is the actually getting hold of anything that anybody. So people keep hearing about. I don't know how many people are into computers and whatever, but you will have heard about the chip shortage affecting graphics cards and the like.
Yep.
But the same chip shortage is affecting FPV stock pretty seriously. You'll notice prices, not just prices everywhere will go up a little bit. I don't expect it will be massive amounts, but things like Tango 2s, things like all the DJI FPV stuff. I'm sure there's other things that I can't think of off the top of my head, but all of that kind of stuff is just held up. Like, even we don't know when some of it's going to show up. We're working on minimal amounts of information, and it sucks because we can't tell anybody. So God knows when it'll show up.
It's a nightmare, and it's like you say, it's affecting everything. Because I wanted to upgrade my graphics card, and that's an absolute joke at the moment. PC graphics cards are just crazy. You cannot get them for love or money, and people are, when they do come in stock, people are buying them up in bulk and then scalping them out on Amazon and eBay and things, which is a bit of an. I've not really seen that with FPV stuff. I guess we're too small for that.
No, I don't think it's going to be any. Well, there might be the odd scalping in the sense that someone's going to sell you a Vista for £10 more than retail, or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be anything massive. We're not going to quite run into the same issues.
Lipos
it will
as well.
start to
What's
come
wrong
back.
with lipos at the minute? Why can't we get lipos?
That might just be our fault.
No,
I don't know.
Everyone's out of lipos.
So, sir, can you?
Oh, really?
Can you fix Cameron, please? Because he keeps jiggling
I
I
about,
keep jumping around.
and it's really
as
annoying.
as his bandwidth comes and goes, because he's on a hotspot, it affects his NDIS connection. So if I embigorize him,
That's
when his
hilarious.
connection comes back, he'll be too big. So we just have to let him bounce.
Well, can you just centre him then?
We could try.
Like centre him with a black border. Yeah,
How's
that's
that?
better. That's much better.
Yeah, so in classic stream fashion, my Wi-Fi signal decided that it doesn't want to work in this particular room today. Normally it's pretty
You
good,
need some tech support.
but also...
Yeah,
Oh god, no, I can't tell you the amount of hassle I've had with this. We got a new... I'm at my girlfriend's house and we got a new line put in, and ever since it's been an absolute nightmare. It's one of those things that should have been absolutely perfectly smooth. We went from like 10 megabits to like 72, and now everything's a nightmare.
72.
Yeah.
You need to get up here into the West Midlands where we've got fibre connections, and you can have 500.
I don't even have 50.
Do you not?
I used to live near
That would
Stoke.
drive me mad.
Going back to lipos, the only lipos I actually fly these days on my 5-inch quad is the FPV V2s and V3s, and I went to I saw a random post on the arse end of the universe on Facebook, going, what lipos shall I get? Shall I get these random, the knob cheese lipos from Amazon at 40 quid each? And I was like, oh no, I know, I'll link them to Unmanned Tech, the FPV lipos, and they're out of stock.
Yeah, them too. I think they're actually on the way. I don't have this information available to hand. The problem is I don't do the purchasing's not me. So
So it's
whenever
all Alex.
someone asks me about stock, It's all Alex. Blame Alex.
Alex,
It makes
if
my
you're
life a
watching
lot easier.
this, we want you to join this show. If you're watching this, come and join us. Ping me a message. We can get you on. Come on.
Yes, we're lovely.
Don't be
we're
scared.
Very friendly.
We don't bite.
So, on the subject of
except for
the
Aussie
FPV and particularly the lipos, you've been very honest at Unmanned Tech about the quality of those lipos. You know, like they're not like massive C for like racing applications, but if you want an everyday battery, these are your fellas. How's that kind of affected, do you think, the sales of those? Because I see a lot of people going, oh, they even say they're rubbish themselves. It's like, no, you're not reading it right. How's that gone as a strategy?
So, if you're the kind of person that reads that and goes, oh, they're rubbish, then they're not for you. So, find a different lipo, enjoy it, get an R-line, or some battery with some massively inflated C rating that lies through its teeth. It's just the actual. People seem to love them. I've seen the odd post where someone's got an issue or whatever, but there's a loss rate with everything, and they fit. I feel like after the couple of revisions we've had, they fit the space they're supposed to fill perfectly, because not everybody needs an R-line, not everybody needs the top of the line battery, and if you're just bashing freestyle quads around, you're going to end up going through hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of batteries before you know it. And that's who they're for. It's the sort of person that flies their quad, absolutely sends it to the moon, crashes a lot, needs the flight time, needs the power there, but doesn't necessarily need to sustain a 3-minute full throttle flight.
I've actually
just flick over to RC Maniac for a second.
I've actually
because he's sitting there faffing with
Nice.
The
Is that
FPV.
version 1? Has that got the clear wrap on it, or no?
I think that's a sticker.
Don't think so.
So something else that happened is the version 2s and 3s got progressively smaller, I think, as well.
Yeah.
We've actually managed to, I think they're lighter and smaller and have a clear wrap. And
See, I can actually race with one of those because I'm not one of these super quick guys that finishes a race with a broken battery. So for me, the C rating, the capacity of them is just right.
that's the thing. That's what they're for. 1100 was when 6S first started becoming popular, people were flying around with 1300 milliamp hour batteries going, oh, look at all this flight time I get. Well, of course you do. You've got so many more watt hours, you're going to get a longer flight time. You'll also be a heavier quad. You'll also be slower. 1100 came from 1000 not quite feeling right, and also the fact that people see 1000 milliamp hour 6S, or at the time saw 1000 milliamp hour 6S and went, not interested, it's too small, when realistically that's what they should be flying for a fair comparison. And it's like everything about them is just based around what people need rather than what people necessarily want. The C rating on it, if you read the description, it's entirely for show. I've got no idea what the actual C rating is. I mean, it's enough. Yeah, you know.
I think they're brilliant. I think they're really good, and it's just it's refreshing to see someone describe a battery and just be honest about it, because there's so many batteries out there with C ratings that are just total cobblers. It's really annoying. So out in the chat, who's out there in the chat? Failsafe has a question for us, for Cam. How many orders do people make from UMT on a daily basis? So pre-pandemic and post-pandemic would be my question on that one. How many orders go through your doors on an average day?
A lot. I can't be specific. I don't think.
No. I think Alex would tell you off.
Yeah, that's possible.
But what sort of increase have you seen? Has the pandemic caused people to shop online more? Or are you seeing more throughput because of that?
We were iffy about it because people can't go out and fly. Does that mean they're going to make less orders, or does it mean they're going to be indoors, they're going to be bored, so they make more? Initially, Tiny Whips just like sold out immediately. Everybody wants Tiny Whips. You're stuck indoors. It's perfect. But the end result is we've actually seen a lot more orders. I can't give specifics. I don't actually have the numbers to run for you even if I wanted to. But it's done us well to the point where it's done us too well, and we need more staff, and everybody on the team is working overdrive to make sure that everything keeps carrying on as normal. And it's been a massive team effort on like everybody's part.
Awesome.
It's sort of dying down a bit. The orders seem to still be there, but we're getting better at handling it, and everything's sort of recovering, and it's leaving us in quite a nice spot where we'll get to grow the team, we'll get to supply more things, we'll get to make bigger orders, have more stock, all the good stuff.
That sounds
so
really
the long and short of it is good.
I like to have more good stuff. That should be the tagline for Unmanned Tech in general. Just have more good stuff.
Well, also one of the nice things about Unmanned Tech, and why Killer Quads enjoys working with Unmanned Tech, you know, because we have a relationship that, you know, we have to be upfront about that, is because they are, you know, a family feeling company. If you need something sorted, you can give Unmanned Tech a call. The support is there. When they're absolutely rushed off their feet, it might be a little bit slower than you might perhaps want, but it still feels like a family business, and hopefully you can keep that as you grow, you know.
Well, that's the goal. I don't think any modern business wants to end up being some kind of monotone, robotic, you know, the auto reply emails, that kind of thing,
which you don't get from you guys.
The goal, but that's what one of the things that's made it difficult to keep up as things got quicker and higher volumes and all the rest of it is trying to keep that kind of individuality is surprisingly difficult. But we're pretty set on keeping it as much as physically possible, and like I said, we're growing the team as a result. That's the only solution.
So there's a question in the chat from someone who you know quite well, and I actually agree with this question completely, and I want to know the answer to it. So it's a great question. So thank you, Alpha Charlie. Will there be another CRAP box in the future?
Yes, they were good.
I still have stickers
from that. There was supposed to be one like years ago. So that particular box with that particular name, though.
Swear,
what is it say? But they were great, and we loved doing them, and they were the first casualty of Unmanned Tech growing. So we made the boxes, we loved getting all the stuff, like trying to get the manufacturers on board, getting them to collaborate and sell us things at preferential prices and things, which was, you know, almost no one did, so we just ended up eating it. But they, as we got more orders in, just couldn't be sustained reliably. It would either affect our orders or it would affect the box itself. So yeah, the way it currently sits, the answer is probably not, but we would love to. It's not a matter of they've just disappeared off of the planet and we're never going to be doing it again. They're very much in our minds. The crap box. Oh, sorry. It's difficult not to say the product name, isn't it?
But they sound like a bit of a labour of love, so you've got to have the time to do them.
That's the thing. Yeah, they're more of a like to do than a need to do, and unfortunately, the like to do needed to take the hit.
Clown,
so,
everybody knows you're Cam's favourite pilot. You don't need to ask that.
He's not technically. Is he a team pilot? Who are our team pilots?
You're off the team, Clown. It's all over.
I can't say who my favourite team pilots are. That's not allowed. I'd make someone sad.
As long as it's Clown.
Them all equally.
Daryl Bleach wants to know: have you been to the barbers since COVID started?
Clown's here, and he's not technically a team pilot, but because he's here, let's say Clown's my favourite.
Definitely. So Daryl wants to know if you've had a haircut since COVID started.
Oh well, because of this.
Look at that! Proper hair.
Yeah.
Proper hair.
No, I haven't, and it's pure laziness. There's no other reason behind it. I'm not one of these people that gives that much of a toss about my appearance. I've never been bothered by it. If someone like wanted to call me out on it, I just wouldn't waste my time. So
and also bonus points on growing a beard, especially for the show. Because as you know,
that is a requirement
of KWADeRATIC guests.
I actually put like 45 minutes before the show started. I put a link to a song by a band called The Beards about beards in the chat for any of the really early birds who had a chance to watch it. I hope you enjoyed the song.
Yeah, but Clown, only the Obi-Wan from the 3 films we don't talk about, so that doesn't count. Martin RC Flight says, do you or would you set up stalls at racing events? Westlands is coming up, will you be there? Now we've spoke about that before, haven't we, about dragging you to the Jim Gibney Memorial Race when Killer Quads put it on. And it's really difficult for you guys to actually get the resource to do that, isn't it, to put a stall out at a racing event or something?
Well, that's the thing. I think we present ourselves as a larger team than we are. I mean, the ones in the know will know that there's a handful of us now, but we're still very much a small team, and the amount of our staff that actually have the knowledge for FPV is we've got 3 people, and we all still have the weekend commitments and the rest of it, so it's quite difficult to work it out from that side of things. The other side of things is figuring out what you take, but that's not a no. It's the kind of thing, again, like the random box, I personally would love to do. I'd love to go to events and set up a stall, stand around and meet people, hand people. Yeah, exactly. And even things like collections and just simple things, opening a phone line, just to have that extra level of kind of interactivity and presence, so that people get to know us better, we get to know them better. Because at the moment we're just text on screen.
Well,
so yeah,
there's a space available for you at Killer Quads events. You know that's an open offer for you.
I do know that.
And at some point we still need to come and do a whoop race around your warehouse. I think.
Well, this is the other thing. We've got some Rush FPV gates that we will probably be selling, but at the moment they're just sat around unused.
Yeah, we need to come and do a race in Milton Keynes, either a race around your warehouse, or we'll come down, we'll bring all the race equipment, we'll set something up, and we'll get together and run something down there. Because I originally come from the town that Unmanned Tech is in, so I come from Newport Pagnell originally, which is near Milton Keynes, which is where Unmanned Tech is, if people don't know that.
To answer Alfred Chartley's question, yes, that is definitely pineapples behind Cam.
Pineapple box. Yes, for some reason. So,
that's brilliant.
So I want to ask a bit more about Cameron Farr, because we've talked about Unmanned Tech a lot. So what got you into FPV, Cameron? What's your journey into flight?
So it's pretty dull. It's really nice when people have these super fancy backstories, but mine is I was bored. I've always been a tinkerer. The first thing I do when something doesn't work properly is take it apart. I won't go and buy a new one. So that kind of hands-on electronic making things is perfect for me. Now, I used to ride a BMX because I was never brave enough for skateboards. I just couldn't get them down.
+1.
And it's quite an interesting combination. If you enjoy tinkering with things and the whole logical putting things together, mechanics, electronics, that kind of stuff, but you also like being outside, you're a bit more limited than you might expect. And it's the perfect combination of those two things, being able to go outside and actually enjoy yourself, exercise a little bit, but also
walk across the field to retrieve your downed aircraft when it crashes 5 miles away.
You underestimate the amount of times I crash. But that's what I mean. So everybody, I'm not very old. I'm 22, I think. I'm 22. So
and already has senile dementia because he doesn't know how old he is.
Yeah,
I genuinely have T-shirts older than you.
That's amazing. But I came out of upper school, and that thing happened where all of the friends that you have throughout school just kind of vanish.
Yep.
Yeah,
Drift
exactly.
off
You all go your separate
into the
ways.
sunset.
They went and did uni. I meant to defer a year and instead ended up working at Unmanned Tech, and I much prefer it, so that's where I'm staying. But I was just bored, I couldn't get outside. and it filled a void. I found a video of it. I bought actually a Hubsan drone originally, a H501S, which is a fantastic drone for the money that it costs. I think it's £200, but it goes a fair whack out, and it's got proper analog FPV. It's proprietary, but it works. It's none of that Wi-Fi rubbish. And then that thing happened where I just wanted more. You know, you start out when you're a kid with some random family computer, and you start to try and play games on it. It doesn't work, so you want more. And that's exactly what the drone was for me. The Hubsan just stopped cutting it for me. So I started looking into.
That's a pretty familiar tale, actually. Really. That's pretty standard for a lot of people, I think. Especially if you are one of those people that. So my mum always says about me that my Christmas presents were taken apart by Boxing Day. When I was a kid, you know, because I wanted to know what was in it, what made it tick, what made it work. Why I don't understand the interest in the pineapples. Why?
So one of James's streams was sabotaged by a game to see who could get the most pineapple mentions in. He had an absolutely chaotic stream.
It was horrible.
Absolutely horrible, guys.
It was horrific.
So that's a little homage going on then.
The thing for me was, no one told me it was going on. If I'd known about it, I would have been totally fine with it. But I was not best pleased, I can tell you that. I was not best pleased.
The whole team was just like, everybody was speaking out of turn. There was no structure or logic to any of it. It fell apart pretty quick, and I apologise, but it was also hilarious for everyone else.
Yeah, it was not. In fact, I think that was pretty much one of the last live streams I've done.
You put him off.
Oh no!
You put him off live streaming for life.
More or less, I haven't done. I don't think I've done anything really on my channel since then. I kind of look at that and go.
And there's pineapple flashbacks.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I'm scarred for life, and I entirely blame FPVG. He's solely responsible for it.
So Clown's mentioning in the chat, 5th of June, Unmanned Tech meetup. So what's that about?
What's this? Where's he said that?
I know. So the guys on the Drone Trust Discord, they're arranging a group fly somewhere on the 5th of whatever he said. I can't make it. I've got my kids, so
if I can do it, I'll be there.
Awesome.
I'm the worst at committing to things like that, as I'm sure you both well know. But
you're always way too busy. You need to get those new staff in place quick, because you'll burn yourself out. So when was the last time you even went flying?
Yeah. When did COVID start?
March
a year ago.
Yeah, if you take a couple of months off of that, so a couple of months before COVID started, that's probably the last time I went out and actually flew properly. I mean, Matt Chewy Flies and I we've been out flying for like 20 minutes or something on a lunch break once or twice, but that's it. That's the extent of my actual.
So all of us out here, we kind of imagine working for Unmanned Tech is, you know, you do a couple of minutes work and then you whoop around the warehouse for a bit, and then you take like a 2-hour lunch and you go fly a 5-inch outside, and you know you're always flying. That's what we think.
No, it's not true.
The reality is not so glamorous.
No, I mean, once upon a time, you know, it's back when. Oh my God, what is that?
That's
I think pineapple.
On pineapple, and that's entirely thanks to my wonderful girlfriend who's watching the show, who sent me that as a picture. So thank you.
That was a worry.
You can upset a lot of people by liking pineapple on pizza, so I keep it to myself.
It's wrong. Pineapple on pizza is wrong
on every level.
But let me explain the best thing about liking pineapple on pizza is you can order a pizza with pineapple on it and nobody touches it. You've got a whole pizza to yourself.
It's a very good point. Or by the vegetarian.
But then you still have to eat it, and it's pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
You still have to eat it.
Deary me. So chat are now going wild with the emotes of pizzas and pineapples. The sensible questions have ended.
Hold on, there's
Alpha Charlie says, Toy Camping and Tinker, I remember turning up to Upward and Cam rocks up with a bag full of quad bits and just sits there and builds one. So have you...
This is true. Yeah. So that's how, even when I did... Well, I've had drones catch fire. I've had every problem under the sun at this point. But what I would normally do, unlike a sane, rational person, is I would get a drone that I thought probably flew, grab all the spares for it that I knew it would probably need because I'm lying to myself, grab a soldering iron like the TS100 or whatever, enough batteries, enough solder, and enough everything in my bag to whatever location I was flying at, and then I'd spend the whole time I'm there fixing the bloody drone.
But at least you're out and socialising.
I would literally sit there and build a drone from my bag because that's what I was doing.
We have a Killer Quads member who's a bit like that.
Yeah, it's been done. It is a thing. There's one in every group.
Was it Sheriff or Beerman who turned up to race practice and more or less rebuilt his entire
I think
quad?
Beerman did actually turn up with a soldering iron and a handful of parts, and then like managed one pack by the end when he finally finished building it, which was quite impressive, to be honest.
Man after my own heart. That's exactly what I'm like.
Right. So we have reached the halfway point of the show. So it's at this point, Cam, that we normally go off and do tip of the week. Are you happy to sit tight there for a bit, and we'll come back and chat to you a bit later?
Yeah, I can chill here.
Chill. Put your feet up. Open another.
I'll listen to this.
Open another beer. Just saying.
I've got one on the go.
Yeah.
There's a beer issue over here. I've got a beer issue.
Random IPA from Asda or something.
Asda IPA. Lovely. Right, we will come back to you in just a moment, but it's come to that time of the show where we go over to Mr. RC Maniac. Good evening, Mr. RC Maniac. How are you?
I'm alright. I've had a roller coaster of a week.
How's the whiplash?
Fortunately, haven't got any.
You have. You've got terrible whiplash. Awful whiplash. It's very painful.
It's terrible.
That's how you pay for the replacement car. Because insurance doesn't cover it. So you've been taken roughly from behind this week.
Yep.
Which was not ideal.
For those of you that don't know already,
I'm told you
rear-ended by a BMW.
The only question I've got is, did they yell surprise first?
No, they
have
didn't.
to save that joke for after dark.
Hey, what joke?
We know exactly the joke you're on.
Yeah, absolutely, but no one else does.
Long-time listeners will know. So yeah, a little bump from behind. That's it. They're obviously going to write the car off because they always do.
Yep, they have.
So you've had the fun of searching for a new one.
18 it was.
You're to replace. My wife's wearing her pajamas. You're wearing pajamas.
At least she's wearing pajamas.
She says they're not pajamas. I think they're a lounge suit. Should we call it that? It's a lounge suit.
At least it's some sort of clothing, as Winterblue says.
Yeah, better some clothing than not when on live stream.
The things you see in the back of your camera. So, with all of that excitement going on, are you still prepared?
Just about, yes.
A tip of the week. All right then. Well, if you're ready, let's launch into it, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you tip of the week.
So,
It's got to be done.
we've all had to desolder something, and if it's a through-hole part, you often end up with this. Usually the solution is solder wick,
Total pain in the bum.
but it doesn't always work.
I just buy new components at that point. I just can't be bothered with that. I'm like, no, just get a new flight controller.
Yeah, that's the people who have money way of solving the problem.
Well, that only works if I'm Unmanned Tech. I've got stock.
That too. But I present an alternative solution, which Cerb can vouch works very well.
I can. I know what's coming.
That is compressed air. In this case, from an airbrush, it can be from an air compressor, it can be some computer duster. It is very simple, however, warning, this will spray molten hot solder everywhere.
Can you just blow? Do you have to use compressed air? Can you just blow on it really hard?
You can try
Can
blowing
you give
on
it a blow job?
That might work with limited success. You might also end up touching your lips to a very hot circuit board, so I'd advise against it.
Okay.
But it is pretty much as simple as
Look at
I've
this
managed this.
state of that tip. You should be ashamed. Look at that. Look.
Heat the pad and blast it.
Well, that's a good tip, guys.
Now,
If only I had a blowing machine.
Yeah, man. As with all of these methods, success varies.
and,
Hang on.
and
RC Maniac, can you just put yourself back on camera for a second, please? I'm just looking at the chat, and wyntrblueFPV says, "Someone catch me up. What's the old geezers doing here?"
what?
I'm 22.
Like,
It's tip of the week. No, the ground planes are the ones that are difficult. I found I had to use a can of compressed air, an aerosol one, and that wasn't quite as good as using an air gun like that. But yeah, the ground planes.
These ones at the end have got decent sized tracks on them.
Seem to be the bad ones.
If you can time it just right.
Switch your camera view.
Oh,
sorry, that's my fault.
there we go. I'll redo it. Hang on. Yeah. That's up. Loads of solder. No attempt to empty the holes. Now I'm going to take that bait. Okay.
I was leaving it for chat.
So these ones only got decent sized tracks to them, so they'll take a bit, beat it up, and blast.
Look at that.
And
What you need is something bright pink to hold underneath it.
ta-da! Perfectly clear holes that you'll be able to get. Have I got a pin header somewhere? I usually do. For once I don't.
Now I can vouch for this because I did use this technique after it was suggested by RC Maniac a week or so ago to rescue an Arduino, a Raspberry Pi 0W that was that I had to cut the pins on, and yeah, that's what it does to your cutting mat.
It does spray molten hot solder over it. I have been splashed a few times, but by the time it gets to your skin, it's mostly cooled down.
I've got a random story about solder and it getting everywhere. So I used to work for a company that made machines that made printed circuit boards, like way back when in the depths of history. I can't remember the company's name, it was so long ago. But my job was to help test these machines. So we've got like ingots of solder, and you drop these ingots of solder into the machine and it melts them, and this machine carried maybe 1/4 ton of solder.
Wow.
Was it
the way it worked is that it would dip the board into the solder, take it out, and all of it would be done.
Everything gets tinned.
But the thing is, solder reacts with oxygen. It corrodes. It rusts, and it also rusts as a liquid. So what we had to do, we had to basically put a layer of oil on top of the solder so it didn't oxidize.
Yeah.
Only the oil came in a drum, and the oil was completely clear. It looked like water. And the guy had a paper cup full of oil and a paper cup full of water.
Uh-oh.
And he threw the wrong one on top of the liquid solder, which promptly exploded in his face.
Yes, that would be bad.
Ouch.
And he literally was carted off to hospital in an ambulance looking like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
That's scary.
The really scary part is he had no injuries whatsoever. None at all. By the time the solder impacted his skin, it had cooled enough not to cause burns.
Wow. And he just ended up with a really awesome cosplay mask.
Yeah, he honestly looked like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, and I've never seen that. I've never seen anything like it since. But yeah, that was amazing. Interesting side note: they then changed the oil they used to one that had a colour.
Yes, that seems sensible. So Squeaky has joined us in the chat, so shout out to Squeaky. I saw Finley as well.
Squeaky.
He was late, but he did make it. Hi Finley, how you doing? FPVG. I'm not even listening to the stream at this point. I'm just chatting to you guys. Well, cheers for that. Cheers for that. That's charming, isn't it?
He's just here to ruin streams.
Is he the pineapple man?
He's one of them.
He is.
They're all scumbags.
A greater hive of villainy and something or other.
I'll tell you what, never get Cameron, FPVG, Alpha Charlie, and Sync on a stream at the same time. Just don't do it.
All right.
Just don't.
So let's have a quick look at chat. Let's see what they're saying about that rather awesome tip of the week. That was good, that one. Thank you very much for that one, RC Maniac. We liked that. That was very good. Yeah. 60 psi. That's a lot of psi's. So let's go back to
cranks.
Cameron getting a sneaky chooch on the robot cock.
Yeah, he is. So, I've got a question
Go on.
for the man of many tips, which is I have a nightmare removing pin headers from a PCB. You know when you've got like a line of pin headers, you've one component with like 6 down solder points. Have you got any tips that will result in me not tearing my hair out when I'm trying to remove those without a hot air assist, or is it just painful?
I was going to say either a hot air gun, or if it is something like this where it's a row of pins,
These bad boys.
Yeah.
and you've got plenty of solder to spare, if you absolutely flood the... I took my iron off. A moment.
My top tip is take the plastic spacers off, because
That can help too.
because you
if
can-
you don't need the pin header afterwards.
if
You
you
just pull it up.
just scrap the pin header, you can slide that black plastic off. It will slide up and off, and then it turns into individual pins that you can desolder. And I'm going to throw in another. I'm doing tips here. Look, I'm getting excited about this one. Hold on. I'm going to throw in another top soldering tip. If I can get to my toolbox, because some idiot placed all the race gear in front of it. Hold on.
While he's finding that, you flood the ever-living life out of it. This works better when there's actually not a phone in the way and actually pins in there. You can usually get enough heat and a big enough blob to spread across, kind of like that, and then hair pliers from the other side to pull it out.
Yeah, that's basically what I do. Just edge it out a bit at a time.
Yeah, and also this trick can also help.
Yes.
So if you just cut it off flush, and then even with the bits of pin left in there, blast it out.
Now I want to call these forceps, but they're not. They're locking tweezers. Invest in a set of these.
Forceps in my mind.
Yeah, get yourself onto Amazon. They're dirt cheap, and then what you can do is just lock that onto the pin.
Yeah.
So pull the plastic off, lock your tweezers onto the pin, heat it up, slide it out, but don't pull on it until the solder is definitely flowed, or you'll pull the pad off the board.
And that's it. What they show. Them out.
Welcome,
Match
Sheriff.
solder, including
Sheriff FPV made it before the end, and actually went to Laxton
Shiny
and
bits
didn't
on
blow
my
up
hand.
all of his kit. You're having a good week, mate.
It really does spray everywhere.
Sorry, RC Maniac, I talked over you completely.
Just showing that it does, in fact, spray everywhere. That's even gone into my hand that was holding the iron.
Nice.
But it comes off
Suffering.
easily enough, and by the time it gets to your
Suffering
hand,
for
it's
his
usually
arm.
small enough drops. It's cool enough. It doesn't hurt too bad.
Have
Have you ever been on a windy beach that feels about like getting whipped by the sand?
That's a very romantic imagery there for some reason. That's a bit scary.
Specific, isn't it?
don't get sand in your motors though, because it will crash your motors.
No,
You
don't
fly on
get
a
sandy
beach.
motors. I suffered that at Spaghetti Junction. I flew a quad underneath Spaghetti Junction, and
Really?
yeah, I did have a little unplanned landing, and the motors instantly filled with this like magnetic gravelly grit stuff, which I'm telling myself came off of the cars above, like brake pad material or something, because it was so metallic. It stuck straight into the motors and screwed them right up. Had to remove my bell in the field. Wasn't good.
Did
Martin,
you manage to clean it?
I did. I gave it a scrub. Martin RC Flyer says, Cameron, have you tried or got your hands on the DJI Livox? What's a Livox?
No.
Livox?
Um,
Livox?
I think I'm just going to look it up so I don't make an idiot of myself, but I think I know what it is. Oh no, yeah, no, it's just I haven't. I was saying he asked me a question in the chat before that you missed, which was what the most interesting thing on our shelves is to me tech-wise, because we've not just got quad stuff. We kind of just want to sell things that are cool.
Oh yeah, you have like
know?
some nice little maker things and component stuff, which
Yeah,
I
mean, the
browse through from time to time.
atrocious. Yeah, the categories are absolutely atrocious. I'm not sure how you manage it, but we do sell that kind of stuff as well.
You got
It's just going on.
an AI rover thing. I was reading something about that the other day. I was like, that's really cool. Although there's like three options for it, like super slow, cannot crash, bit faster, and really fast. Why would anyone ever buy the slow one? Honestly.
Don't want the slow. Martin RC Flyer says about the excellent tip. Can you recommend a compressed air machine? That's a good question actually, because I had to use a can of compressed air and that was garbage.
And you have a whole compressor?
Yes.
Any compressed air source will do. I can't really recommend any specifically.
So that was that a little air gun compressor? So that might be a good
The
thing.
one I was using was a
I love the fact
Timber
that
Tech.
he's got the box.
He's had to go and get it out of the loft.
Just for this.
Fresh out the garage, actually.
Is that called an air god?
It's called air goo.
Air
I'm a
goo.
bit worried about that air goo.
Uh,
I don't think I want any air goo. Timber Tech air
Timber
goo.
that's the air compressor I'm using.
Okay.
It's a little.
Oh, that's so
on the-
cute.
Yeah, and also, if I drain it a bit, it's really quiet.
I don't know if I'd count that as really quiet.
Yeah, that's really loud.
Yeah, as air
Relative
compressors
to
go
our
though,
Yeah.
it's really quiet.
Relative to my workshop compressor, yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty quiet. It's got to be said.
There's another question from Cam from Alpha Charlie. How's the radio controlled car stuff going at UMT?
Also really well. It's the same boring answer where I can't give specific numbers or whatever, but we got them in just because they're cool, you know. It's like a thing that people do. It's tinkery, it's cool stuff, and no matter what age bloke you are, if you're handed an RC car, like a proper, not that Toys R Us stuff, but a proper RC car, you just want to mess with it.
Avoiding the lawsuit there by naming a company that doesn't exist, so that's clever.
Remember to
Oh yeah, I nailed that one.
So I got started in radio controlled through radio controlled cars. In fact, behind me, you can't see it on camera, is my very first Tamiya Mini, which I've never actually driven. It's never had a battery in it,
What?
and it never will.
What?
No, it will never have a battery in it. Never.
Don't you want to just shove an FPV camera on
Surely.
it and get?
No, not that one. No,
Yeah.
I also had a Lozzie 5 for a long time, and fifth scale FPV on a fifth scale was awesome fun.
Cameron, you need to
Although-
send him an air unit so he can put it on that Mini.
Yeah, if you've got one, I'll
I'd-
happily send it to him.
I'll tell you what. If you send me an air unit or a Nebula Pro and my FETEC order, I will happily put it in the Mini, and I will even buy a NIM
Chip shortage.
pack to run it.
Damn chip shortage.
Damn chip shortage.
I started on Tamiya as well, or Tamiya, depending on how you say it. But Tamiya Falcon. You'll have to Google that.
Hang on, I won't be able to hear you, but hang on.
Squeaky, squeaky.
It's getting it. Wait, insulting while he's gone.
Is this the bit where he's saying things about?
Yes.
Well, he can't hear it.
Pineapple.
He wears really weird socks, and they smell funny.
Pineapple.
Anyway,
Nice.
as we were saying,
So yeah,
has anyone seen the Source 5 frame? Can it hold 8 motors? That is very cute, Winterblue. That needs to be ripped. Look at it.
no, it's an absolute shelf queen.
Ah, that's a tragedy.
But why?
You can hear it saying, drive me, I need to be
No.
driven.
He's driving.
Take it
No,
out.
it's
You're
got a
one of
beautiful
those
layer of
people
dust
that
on
would
it and
buy-
everything.
Buy a classic car and just keep it.
Hold on then.
Never
Hold
use
on then.
it.
Right. If we're doing this, we're doing this. Hold on.
Alright.
No, this thing is. I've had this thing for a number of years. Yeah, it's never been driven, and I don't think I ever will. Oh, so yours has got even more dust on it, Serb. Yours isn't like my Mini is special to me. That's an MX-5, and we know that you and Cameron both have a thing about MX-5s.
We do. Yes, we're both MX-5 enthusiasts. This is actually a replica of my real MX-5.
Does it really? Does it have a Hello Kitty engine?
No, sadly, it has a brushed engine that's far too quick for it.
Yes.
There we go. We've gone off at a complete tangent now.
That's cool.
We never go
Yeah.
off on
So
tangents.
we've
Go on.
got winter.
Is it just hydro dipped? Your
The MX-5. What, the engine or
I
the
think-
radio control?
I think Serb's real MX-5 is also covered in dust.
It is, yes, and mould because it hasn't moved for a year because of this stupid pandemic. So we've got Winterblue and RC Maniac who are the Mini enthusiasts, and
like MX-5.
Cameron and I that are the MX-5 fans.
They're not real minis though.
yeah. Although I've bought the wrong one
Yes,
by MX5 enthusiast standards.
we brought the Mark III, which isn't. That's a Ford.
It's well, that's the good thing about it, right? It's a Ford, which means you can just take the 2.5 litre lump out of a Mondeo,
Yeah.
shove a bunch of air through
Bolt
it,
it straight in.
and go.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Bolt straight up.
Bro,
Bolt straight up.
Speaking of buying cars,
have you replaced your Mini with another Mini?
yes,
Awesome.
Good man.
it's
The only reason I
a
didn't is because I couldn't afford one.
Oh,
R56.
Yay! That's the right generation. Gen 2 Mini.
is that the
That's
supercharged?
what I
Red.
had.
1.4 litre manual, and it's
Just
got to go faster stripes.
Just make sure you change the oil really, really regularly, because otherwise it'll do what mine did.
And go bang.
Yes, it's
Yes,
spun a big end.
Just change its oil regularly and make sure you run it plenty.
Yes, the first time I
It will actually be driven.
got a lift anywhere from Winterblue, I got in his car and it started up and it started knocking its tits off, and I'm like, you do know you've spun a big end, don't you? He's like, really?
Hey,
Yeah.
the best thing is I got £2,000 in part exchange for it.
How? Who took that off you for two? Why?
Because I needed another car, and I was like, I want another car.
They didn't start it or anything. They were just
They
like, yeah,
did.
gold.
No,
Oh,
they did.
Fair
That's
enough.
why the offer was only £2,000, not the 4.5 that they quoted on their website.
Oh,
Yeah, but have you ever dealt with spun bearings?
No, I don't do cars.
He just sold it.
so
It sounded broken. Serb said it was broken, so I got rid of it as soon as I was able to do so.
I keep
Yeah,
various
That's a safe bet.
on my desk here. I keep various trinkets and what's the word I'm looking for? Ornaments, and I also keep among them. I don't know if you
Some
can
metal.
see it.
Oh, nice. Hold on. I've got something for you if I can find it.
That's what putting 250 brake horsepower through a standard MX-5 engine will do for your big ends.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
they made a bad noise.
What did you do? Just slap a massive turbo on it and pray for the best?
Yeah, it's got the Mercedes 62 cubic centimetre supercharger on it, so it makes crazy power. It has better bearings in it now because those got.
I'm gonna chase it FPV style at some point this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on dragging us back to FPV. Well done.
Anytime, bud. Anytime.
Nicely
Yeah,
done.
We'll have to out soon enough.
So
Yeah, we were talking about this last year. I'm going to be at some point this year. I'm going to chase. Cerberus is going to drive his MX-5. I'm going to be in a follow car chasing it with my purple Badger and recording some sick footage of it driving down country lanes.
that's what we need. That's what we need to do.
That's what we're going to do.
How would you like that follow car to be a red Mini?
Follow car's already arranged. I believe it's a Honda.
What? Better be a cool Honda.
I think it's BlueVelvet's Honda.
Yeah, that is a Honda. Yeah, I can vouch for the Honda-ness of it. Alpha Charlie says that's serious pickup. Yes, it made bad noises. Rotor Riot has an adapter so you can mount 8 motors on a frame. Why would you want to? Well, I suppose if you're doing filming or something. Nurk is beginning to.
You need 2 4-in-1s because I don't think anyone makes an 8-in-1. And if they don't make an 8-in-1, why doesn't Unmanned Tech make?
Oh, if that melted there, you'd be gutted.
8-in-1.
I think at that point you go for individual ESCs usually though.
I think we need an 8-in-1.
For an 8 motor. I built a. Oh god, what are they called? You know the Shen drones.
The Squirt.
Makes them really cool. No, it wasn't the Squirt. It was the. I think it's called the Heavy or the Thick or something.
Yeah.
That's an 8 motor
Proceed.
beast. I built one of those just with 2. If you've got reliable enough ESCs, I think a 4-in-1's the way to go at this point. Yeah. I think we're past that.
Yeah, ESCs are. We're long past the kind of single Simon K firmware ESCs, aren't we?
The only time I recommend single ESCs is for someone who's just starting out.
Yeah,
and the reason I recommend that is because when you're just starting out, you're more likely to smoke an ESC. And if you buy 5 individual ESCs instead of 1 4-in-1, then when they inevitably smoke an ESC, they can actually just swap it out, and it doesn't cost them 40-50 quid for an ESC or more if you're running FETEC like normal people.
I kind of want a 20 by 26 in one so that you can build like 3-inch hexes. I think that would be quite cool. Ask you, Manic, what are you showing us?
I have just swapped from that solution.
Oh, separates.
Which is for single 45 ampere.
Look at that skanky blue electrician's tape from our #1 soldering enthusiast. That's beneath you.
What's going on there?
That's beneath you.
It was a quick fix to stay flying out on a day flying.
More tape.
Flying.
More tape.
This one's much needed. Look, it's even got the plastic bit. Ignore the massive deck in the back.
It needs more fabric tape on the arms, though. Don't listen
No,
to
fabric tape is evil.
What have you got against Tessa tape?
It just feels horrible, and if you need to take it off, it's horrible. It's
It feels weird. Simoniac, that looks really neat. I'm liking that.
Because LEDs.
Oh yes, no tape. The tape would be bad in those circumstances.
Also, I've had a bit of an upgrade as well.
I didn't know you got Crossfire. When did you get Crossfire?
I got Crossfire ages ago for the wings.
Ah, yes, of course.
That's got Crossfire. That's got Crossfire. The AR wing out shot you can't see has got Crossfire.
Crossfire, it's the future.
My Pixel 2's got Crossfire.
My wings have got DJI.
Yeah, Crossfire's better. More range. The only 2.4 things I have left are a tadpole.
He's so cute.
And libwhoop.
Now imagine the tadpole. Imagine that sort of size, but a hexa. How cool! That would be cool.
That, I'm sure.
That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Have you seen the little flywheel thing?
What was that? Do you reckon
these?
The flywheel
Hexa big enough?
I've seen that.
They're crazy.
Compared to the.
Those motors are genuinely far too big for that frame.
It flies quite well though.
So Cameron, are you saying that there's a 3-inch hex out there already that I can go and find?
Oh, it's smaller than 3-inch. Flywave made this. I forget what it's called, but Flywave made this little
Isn't it called the
hexaquad.
Explorer?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find
Sure,
it.
it's the Explorer.
RC Maniac, you're a madman.
It's just it uses tiny wood props. It's that kind of size.
Look at the motor chain. Look, that's insane. Okay, I need to see
that's
this.
the motor I had.
This needs to be coming out to play on Monday at
It will
next
be.
race practice.
And I've swapped to these Emax 1404, so an 1103.
That's totally bonkers. Totally bonkers. Right, we are coming up onto the hour. Now, we are, I'm fairly confident, going to start extending this show. So we may be starting a little earlier coming soon because we seem to be getting to the end of the show now and finding that we don't want to stop. So we need to start earlier or finish later. Winter Blue won't want to finish later because I know where you're going now, you dirty dog.
Yeah, I'm heading over to see Lavender. No great surprise
He'll
there.
be-
Do you know what? I've even put my shoes on. I'm ready to go.
Second
I
it
literally-
finishes, he's just going to run out the door.
It's like,
That's pretty much it. You got
he'll
that
be
right.
like Wile E. Coyote out the door. Oh my word.
Like, I've got my bottle of waters ready. I've already put stuff in the car. I literally just need to tell Siri to turn the house off and run.
All right then. Well, last shout for the chat. Let's have a look who's out there. Finley just uploaded his first dive. Good. Go and find Finley on YouTube and look for his dive. I'm sure it'll be good because Finley's quick. We need to get him to a
Speaking of
race.
Finley, he needs to get racing. He's going to be so
Come
fast.
to a race, Finley. You are going to be quick enough. Come and scare some of the older guys. Fail safe. Finley says, cough cough, hobby wing 60 amp. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a go-to at the minute, isn't it? The hobby wing 60 amp. Martin Ussifire loves Tessa tape. Yes, Tessa tape is good. All builds look better with Tessa tape. It's just Winterblue doesn't like it furry.
No,
You're
I'm not
allowed
into
to.
furry.
He's not into
You can just
furry.
burn it off.
Just
If it starts fluffing up, just run a lighter over it for a couple of seconds, and it all those little fibres just vanish,
defer.
and then you've got a really nice looking tape with none of that fluffy rubbish.
See? It's all good. Failsafe Hexplorer. I'm going to have to look for that because I want a 3-inch. I want a 3-inch hex. I really do. Tristan Lee Blackburn. Hello, Tristan Lee Blackburn, and welcome to KWADeRATIC.
The end of the show.
And you've joined us just as the show ends. But thank you for tuning in. It's really good to see you. Failsafe, subscribe to Finley. No, unsubscribe, clown. Who is? I haven't actually looked at the show schedule. Who's joining us as guest next show in 2 weeks' time?
I can't say.
Ooh.
I
Top
can't
secret, is
say.
it?
Top secret.
Secret?
So top secret. You can join.
But it's going to be a great one. So you've got to make sure you join
You
us
should
in 2 weeks'
definitely tune
time
in.
to meet our guest, who is going to bring smiles to all the boys and girls' faces.
Finley says, "Will Unmanned Tech sponsor him so that he can get into racing?" I'll let Cameron contact you offline with that one. I'm sure they'd love to sponsor you. So right, what we need to do then is we need to say, Cameron. Oh my word, that's good, isn't it? That's gone well. That's gone really well. See, yeah, your
The way he was just moving over.
your broadband actually started working, and that screwed me over. Great, that's just what I knew. So Cameron, thank you very much for joining us. It's been great to have you along, and I know your time is very valuable because you're very busy at Unmanned Tech. So great to have you with us, and we'll get you back at some point. We may give you a call when we do an after dark, and we'll get some beer going as well. But thanks for coming on. Yes, that will be good. So cheers, Cam. Good to see you. RC Maniac with another amazing tip of the week. Thank you, dude. Will you be back with us
Right.
in a fortnight with another amazing tip?
If I can think of one, sure. If anyone has any tips they'd like to be shared, let us
Under
know.
no circumstances
happened to me.
should any viewers send us photos of their tips. Thank you, RC Maniac. And over to chat to say goodnight to you guys there. Thank you for coming, guys. It's been great to have you along. You guys make these shows far more entertaining, even if you're going on about pineapples, which was a bit weird and I didn't understand it, but I'm old, so that's the thing. Winter Blue, my partner in crime, my co-host with the mostest. Thank you very much, dude. I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully I'll see you before that for some flying. Sunday, yes, we are booked, aren't we? It's in the diary and everything. Right, so you've got your running shoes on, so off you go out the door. Drive safe. Say hello to the wife. We will see you soon. See you, mate. That's it then, folks. That's it then, folks. That's us. That's KWADeRATIC shuffling to its conclusion for another fortnight. We will be back here in 2 weeks with a special secret guest I can't tell you about, but it's going to be amazing. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Get out there and do some flying, and don't forget to ding my bell. I only do that for the laughter in my earpiece, and we will see you all soon. Take care, folks. Good night.